Hello guys, my name is Dearjus here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the new episode of the series Daleks. This time the Daleks come up against the Mechanoids, and the Mechanoids have previously been seen in the story The Chase, which is a Hartnell story, I believe. I mean, they were alright. I noticed that these things don't have any legs because legs require a lot of time to animate, because if they don't have legs, which is why I said before Daleks are great for animation, because they don't have legs to move on. So the Daleks come up against the Mechanoids again, and this time they have a bit of a conversation on a ledge and basically explain the plot to them, and the story ends. To be honest, I think this one was a bit weak. I was kind of looking forward to see what they were going to do. You know, last time we had a nice little fight at the end. It kind of had a climax to it. This one, not so much. Like, I just felt like it was a bit lacking in that respect. The episode didn't drag in any way, but I do feel like you could have done a bit more with it than what you've done, because what you've really done is explain the plot to the Mechanoids, which, if you're following the series, you already know. The entity that's following you arrives on that planet, but then the Daleks are like, it's intentional, but it clearly wasn't intentional. You're looking for help. Like, there's a lot of flaws there. I don't know why they decided to kind of spend most of the episode explaining that there's an entity coming for the Daleks. Like, things like that we already know and could have been easily cut, which meant that you'd get a streamlined episode, which would have had, you know, a climax in it, for example, but no, they weren't doing that, are they? The episode is absolutely full of colour. I love the kind of hue that they've put on the clouds to make them red. I think that looks absolutely lovely, and a lot of the time the show does look quite good. There are moments when it doesn't. Many times you see them switch lighting, or one side of their face would be in lightness while the other side isn't, but then the model next to them doesn't replicate that. Things like that. There is a moment during this episode when they're standing on this beam, like this platform, and there's the Dalek and the Mechanoid standing next to each other, and the bottom of the floor is green, and they're kind of like their surroundings are a bit green, but it hasn't made any change onto the Dalek's person. But then in a later shot, there's green across the side of it. So it's a bit give or take with this thing. Sometimes you get a really good shot and sometimes not so much. This strategist Dalek is coming across as a really cool character. Like, more and more within this series, not so much the other stuff, because I think it's because his voice has been in my head. But in this, he's got a really interesting character, and I like how they've made him a Dalek, but he's different to the other Daleks. It feels like he's got a personality. And as the series is coming towards the end in 2 weeks, only 2 episodes left, I'm interested to see where it will all go and whether we will get a good ending. Like, I really don't know which way this thing's going to go. Is it going to continue to just kind of end this constant stream of adventures, or is it going to, you know, like, actually equate to anything? Are they going to find anything about this entity? Because for 2 episodes now, they've just kind of run away from it. And I'm curious whether that entity actually has some importance on what that means, like who it is, that kind of stuff. If we learn something about it, then it might make a bit more interesting to, you know, that they're being chased. Because at the minute, all we've been told is, yeah, the Daleks have been chased by this entity thing, and it's kind of bad. I don't know why a series that is so limited has spent 2 episodes basically saying the same stuff. But as the series has gone on, I've kind of noticed a couple of, like, faults within the scheduling of it. Like, personally, I would have preferred if the show came out one a day for a week, because that you could have done a Monday to Friday thing. It's like 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and then you would have gotten a good sort of cohesive narrative from you understanding what happened the previous night to the next night, and it would have made a nicer, I'd have been more excited to watch them all, because at the minute I sat down and I was like, another one. But at the end of the episode, I was excited for the next one. So, but within a day or 2, that runs out again. So if it was daily, then the excitement can continue into the next day instead of me having to wait a week. I see more Instagram posts and YouTube videos more than the episode has actual minutes. So what do you think of Daleks? Personally, I'm looking forward to see where things go, but I'm beginning to have doubts that it will go very far, because this episode did not impress me greatly. I mean, I thought it had some nice moments. I thought the Dalek on the floor was pretty cool, and there's some obvious stuff that I've talked about loads of times and I don't want to say again, such as the fire effects and the laser effects and stuff like that. It doesn't matter what I think anyway, so thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I shall see you soon.